Hi there. So I'm going to try and take a stab at this overall. So let's kind of start with your quant piece here. And I mean, I don't really see a whole lot of timing issues over here, but let's just see in this case. Now, the way I think about ESR is the ability score. So why? Because an ability score is the output that the test calculates based on these accuracies. So I don't like to go by accuracies. I like to go by ability scores. I actually like to go more by this particular chart here. And what this tells me in this case, let me just use the draw tool here, is the average difficulty correct. This took a nosedive over here, which means you probably made some fairly easy mistakes here in this case. And which is kind of where your estimated score, you can see at the end of third block kind of went down, which is what probably caused your Q49 score. Now the question really is, which aspect did it go down in? And this is where the accuracy plots, can help when you analyze them in conjunction with the ability plots. So on the first score, what may seem is that, okay, geometry probably is an issue, and so is counting set series, which is where you have this 33%. And so the question is, which one's a bigger issue for you? And which is what caused this drop over here in this case. And when you look at, and that's kind of where you look at the ability scores, and this the percentile ranking, and in algebra geometry you have 84th percentile, which means that yes, 84th is equivalent to a 50 on this. So yes, the geometry is an issue. Why? Because in algebra you had 100% over here, but geometry is not as big an issue. On the other hand, when you look at this ability score in arithmetic, which is where the counting set series, this is where PNC probability sets and progressions come in, I believe. That's kind of where you've lost a lot of points. So if I were you, I would focus on that. If I focus on that, I'd get a Q50, in fact, even a Q51 or so. And again, within the context of this, you're looking at data sufficiency percent ability being lower. But I think that's caused more by the fact that you have gaps here, because otherwise, if you had particular issues just with data sufficiency, you'd not be able to get 100% correct in inequalities, which is a relatively more challenging topic. So you clearly have gaps in this area. So that's, if I were to say one area, that's kind of where I would say in quant. Now let's kind of analyze the same thing in verbal, and you kind of see the same thing happening here. You can see you did really well. I mean, I have seen very few people get to this point at the end of block number 2. And in block number 3 you made a mistake. Now I don't know if you had timing issues. Let's kind of see if we have a timing chart for verbal here. You did have some timing issues in the last block, but not in block number 3. Let's go back. So block number 3, you definitely got some fairly easy questions wrong, and that's something which and you consumed a lot of time in block number 3. So I think you did not let go. That's clearly for me the piece over here, because of which in block number 4 you didn't get enough time, and your score did go up a bit over here, but this is where your test is limited, A, primarily by timing, and B, by slight careless mistakes. If you just let a couple of questions go in block number 3 over here, you probably would be sitting on a Q42 right now. That's my opinion. Now, where did you lose this? It could either be in CR or RC, either one. I don't know. I mean, you probably remember what came more around that 23rd to 27th, 28th question mark in this case, and accordingly, you can make that decision. But essentially, this is much more limited by timing than purely by ability. I mean, there are maybe some ability gaps within critical reasoning, but there aren't enough insights for us to tell us where those ability gaps could be. I don't believe you put in those charts where we have the information against key skills on verbal. But yeah, so that's kind of my take over here. So timing driven stuff here in verbal. Quant, it's very clear, and I think maybe there are some careless mistakes in either in CR or in RC. I don't know what happened in block 3 over here, but fix those mistakes. If you have a tool which gives you, which is similar to a Scholarly, which gives you deeper analytics, where you can drill down into blocks within CR or blocks within RC, then I'd look at the hard accuracies against those tools and focus on those areas, against those blocks and focus on those areas. That's kind of what I would do. Okay, so hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any other question.